It's just like, we fit together like a puzzle. And even when the days are tough, the puzzle still fits together. And it's a beautiful thing. Yeah, when we started dating, and there was a song by a band we really liked from England, and the band's called Elbow, which a lot of people won't know. But they have a song called Gentle Storm. And the song is basically the singer's saying, fall in love with me every day. And that's what I find with this person right here. It's like, I don't care what the day is. It's like, I just have these moments when it's like, oh my goodness gracious, Heidi, there it went again. I fell in love with you again. And here we are.
Hey everyone, thanks so much for joining us for yet another episode of At Home with Emily, a podcast about creating a life you love. I'm your host, Emily Wood, and of course, being that we are in February, we are talking to 4 couples you should know, and they have all been so gracious to come on and share their stories with us. And today we have Randy Bacon, an old friend of mine, and then of course we have Heidi Herman Bacon, a new friend of mine, and thank you guys so much for being here.
What a pleasure. Thanks for asking.
Thanks for having
The only thing is Heidi didn't bring her black glasses that match yours.
I do have them in my purse. I could pull them out.
No, that's okay. You still look super cute. But when I first met them, she and he had matching glasses, and I just thought that was
They're
really
pretty
cute.
matching, yeah.
It pretty much happens with the whole outfit at times.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh, that's hilarious. It's like, I was getting dressed first. You shouldn't be wearing that.
for sure.
Yeah. Well, the way that I know Randy, for those of you who are just jumping on with us, is Randy is a photographer in town, and I think pretty safe to say a famous photographer. Not just here, but beyond 417. And I was fortunate enough that when we had our first child, Theodore, that Randy came to my home and he took the pictures. And I still remember when you came in. First of all, it's very hectic having, I don't know whoever invented the baby photos, but it's very hectic trying to get yourself ready for pictures when you're in the throes of no sleep and the baby's schedule and they're nursing and they're napping and they're crying. And I think we captured all of those things on film when you were there that day. And it was funny when you first came in, I had my hair up in rollers because I was trying to get it together for these photos. And you were like, I got to take a picture of you guys like this. And so the first picture when he came in, Ryan's in his white undershirt, and I was wearing a grandma nightgown, like the ones with the snaps. I got it at Kmart. I was just, full disclosure, back when we used to have a Kmart and the hair was in rollers. And I just love that picture because it's, it was us. And there we were. So still have that, and we'll throw up a couple of them for, if you're not watching on YouTube, just look for At Home with Emily on YouTube and you can see those. So those were fun memories. And that, you've met so many families, and I say the same thing from journalism. It's such a privilege for people to let you into their lives and share their story with you. And Randy, he has this really uncanny ability to connect with people, and it's hard to do that when you're behind a lens or, a microphone or anything else, and for people to share their stories. And so if you haven't checked out his work, please do so. It's wonderful.
Thank you.
I look back to that, and guess what? That was almost 10 years ago. Isn't that wild?
Time's just weird.
It's just crazy.
No, it is. It's just like, growing up, it's like winter, and it's like, is it ever going to get over? And then it's like winter, it's over, year over, and look where we're at.
I know.
10 years.
So Theodore is 9.5 now. That flew by, and we have another little one. But I was thinking, just how much our lives have changed since then. And, at that time was prior to your divorce.
Yep.
And so that was a completely different season. And then I remember when you went through the divorce.
Yep.
And I think so often we think of, the loss of a loved one, we see the grief and we understand. But I don't think people understand the loss of a relationship like that you've had for so long.
Yeah, it's a long one.
And what that does to people.
It's, course, I had no idea what it was going to be like, but it's rough, and it is kind of like a death, but it's almost worse in some ways.
Right.
And going through that season, which I didn't expect, and there's all these things that going through your head and through your heart and your soul, and it's like, wow, is this it? Is this it? And how do you get through it? And when I was going through that season, I'm like, I just got as much as I absolutely can. I just have to stay on a positive path. There's days when I'm like, I can't, but I just have to try to stay on a positive path, and as they say, keep the faith. Keep that nugget of hope. And I went through that season, and out of the middle of nowhere came this person sitting right next to me, Heidi, and it's like, oh my goodness. I really found my person. It's not that my previous marriage was like wrong, but this person here, Heidi Herman Bacon.
Get all three of them.
Get all three. It's just like, we fit together like a puzzle. And even when the days are tough, the puzzle still fits together. And it's a beautiful thing. Yeah, when we started dating, and there was a song by a band we really liked from England, and the band's called Elbow, which a lot of people won't know, but they have a song called Gentle Storm, and the song is basically the singer's saying, fall in love with me every day. And that's what I find with this person right here. It's like, I don't care what the day is. It's like, I just have these moments when it's like, oh my goodness gracious, Heidi, there it went again. I fell in love with you again. And here we are,
And Heidi, you were obviously very successful career and single for a long time.
Yeah, for a long time. For probably 15 years. And I had kind of just put myself into my passions, and I was really involved in the fashion community in Kansas City and had a studio and made custom dresses and worked a full-time job and just was doing my own thing. And actually, we didn't meet on a dating site. We met on a music site. So we met on a site that you exchange your music tastes, and we both have kind of unique alternative music tastes. And
very good music taste. I mean, just admit it.
and we there were bands that so many other people wouldn't know, not regular bands, and we were like pretty surprised that this person knows this band and this person knows this band. And so that started the conversation. And once we started a conversation, actually first, messaging and then moving to the phone, we never quit talking. Like from that day, July 2nd in 2017, there's never been a day that we don't talk.
Nope.
And so, we would talk for hours and hours. I know a lot of people say that, but just to have so many things in common with someone, is just mind-boggling, because all of our experiences are different. I lived in New York and I lived in California and then in Kansas City and grew up in Wichita, and Randy grew up in Lebanon and lived in Springfield. And so how does that, it was pretty serendipitous, and
I was literally on that site for like one day.
Yeah.
No, I seriously was.
Yeah.
And you look through at people and they're...
Was it a music matchmaking? It's a music matchmaking site?
It's the dumbest name, sorry. It's called Taste Buds, but
Okay.
It worked really well. And it's just about sharing music tastes.
Common interests.
Yeah, that's all it is. And so I had been on all the dating sites. I had paid for them and not paid for them. And I was just like,
This is worthless, right?
Yeah,
I mean, for the most part.
I just wanted somebody to go to concerts with because I was going with my ex-boyfriend, which he was my ex-boyfriend for a reason, so it wasn't really that great. So, so I was just like, that's all I was looking for because I had kind of given up hope.
Mainly a new friend.
Yeah, yeah, with not a lot of baggage, because the ex-boyfriend obviously came with some baggage. So,
and you found a new friend.
I did, and. Yeah. The only message, I had only been on there for a week, and pretty much the only message I received on that site was from Randy. And so it just seems like it's a godsidence, it seems bigger than just like.
Did you say godsidence?
Godsidence, yeah.
I've never heard that.
Yeah.
It's one of my words. When it's not just a coincidence or something bigger at play.
Yeah.
A godsidence.
Godsidence, yeah. So, and when something like that happens, it's not deniable. Like you don't know how it happened, but you don't doubt it. I don't know. It's kind of crazy.
So do you share a common faith?
Yeah. I mean, not a common religion necessarily how we grew up, but definitely.
I grew up Southern Baptist, Catholicism.
Yeah.
And, but yeah, I think we really have a strong faith.
Yes.
And
spirituality.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, as far as the whole church, maybe not so much anymore, as maybe growing up in some things, but faith is good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I still, pray in a Catholic way, and I still, that serves me well. But as far as going to a church, Catholicism is very different than other churches.
Right.
I mean, it's a little bit more somber. And so, being brought up in that and then going to a more progressive church that is very rock and roll is a little different for me, right? And so
yes.
I'm not saying it's not
right.
that I don't like it. It's just a lot to take
You're
in.
like, oh my, this is loud.
This is different, right?
Wait a second, this is kind of feeling like a concert. Well, maybe I do like this.
Exactly. So, but yeah, we've explored a lot of different places and things together, and things that are out of my comfort zone, things that are out of his comfort zone. So it's good. It's good to be able to support one another through those experiences.
Unexpected at this stage in life? Is this what you were thinking was next for you? I mean, and I can go to either one of you.
It was totally unexpected. I mean, I'd never been on any type of site like Taste Buds, a music site, or any of the others, And it was a totally new experience. I was married a long time before.
Right.
And so.
How'd you decide to put yourself out there?
Oh, goodness gracious. It was a really hard period.
I know.
For a long time. And my beautiful daughter, Olivia, she basically encouraged me to really start exploring life again.
That would be okay.
That's totally okay.
Mm-hmm.
And she encouraged it, and she gave me really the courage. Because this was something that's like, what do I do? What do I do? I don't know what to do. And so it was not expected. And even to the point, maybe slightly, it's like, well, it may never happen again.
Mm-hmm.
Do I even want it to happen again?
And having peace with that too, probably, though.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think that's the thing about, for me at least, and maybe for others, going through a divorce, it just basically, it can grind you down into a pile of dust. But within the context of that dust, what beautiful thing are you going to build back? And I chose to make Randy version 2.0. And I wanted Randy version 2.0 to be the best version of Randy in my life.
So Randy version 2.0.
Yeah.
Did you actually think that thought to yourself, or is that just what you call it now?
Well, I called it that pretty early on.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I was really kind of proud of myself.
Yeah.
And that's a good feeling. again, when you're in a pile of dust, what are you going to build back? And what I built back, I'm like, this is pretty cool. I feel good. And then I got the courage. And so I'm like, there may be somebody out there. And there it started.
And this was the somebody.
This is the somebody. This is.
It's amazing how fast it worked for you. I mean, having,
It did.
getting brave and then doing that and then reaching out. My experience with online has been a lot of frogs. Is that what?
A lot of frogs.
A lot of frogs, right? But then it was pretty immediate when we connected. So, like, short time for you, maybe a longer time for me, but then immediate for the both of us,
Yeah,
right?
we connected.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I thought, well, this is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Because it's like the first one. Yeah, I'm serious.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow.
Godsidence. Right?
Godsidence.
I do feel
yeah.
that.
We do.
Yeah.
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 But I mean, and I know Heidi, she's like, I pretty much gave up.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Like, kind of old maid stuff. You know what I mean? Like, just
Sure.
the levels in our society and all of that. But just, I always felt if you follow your passion, then at least you have that, And so I was just doing my thing. And then, so I'm making these custom dresses and I'm in the fashion community. I'm very involved. And then I meet this guy and he's in Springfield and I'm in Kansas City. And I was busy,
Yeah.
and so I had to kind of make a decision, like, well, do I, give this guy a chance and, kind of put some time in my schedule for him. And I did. And I quit making custom dresses at that point, which
Was a big deal for you.
it was prior to
Yes.
that. But then this became a bigger deal, more important. And so then, you give time and then you figure out how your life looks. And then, I get to follow my passions every day today. And so does he. But then we come together. So it's all really beautiful, so.
COVID wedding, pre-COVID.
Yeah.
Somewhere around COVID time, right?
Oh my gosh, like
2 weeks
2 weeks before.
2 weeks before the lockdown.
Yeah. Too
Perfect
funny.
timing.
Oh yeah. Like crazy perfect timing. Yeah, we got married and then Randy's birthday is just a couple weeks later. And so on his birthday, we were having a meal and there's like, whoa, everything's getting locked down tomorrow,
The next day.
Yeah. And we're just like, what is going on,
Yeah. I think everybody remembers that day.
Yeah.
The health department called a news conference,
Yeah.
came out on TV, and they're like, we've got a case.
Yeah.
There's a case in Greene County.
Yeah.
We're shutting down, folks. That's it.
Yeah.
And yeah, I definitely remember that.
Yeah.
Because I even had that feeling of, the panic that sets in because I had a little baby and a toddler.
Yeah.
And I can remember going to the store and getting my whatever,
Yeah.
rice and beans.
Yeah.
Because I was just thinking, am I going to be able to get back to the store with
Right.
the baby and
Right.
stuff? You can't
Right.
mask a baby. And there's just so much uncertainty and craziness going
Sure.
on. And meanwhile, there was a set of newlyweds, I guess.
Yes, and talk about like diving into it. And then Olivia lived with us
My
too,
daughter.
and
Randy's
so
daughter.
she was. How old was she then? 18? 19?
18 or 19.
Yeah. So she was navigating it too, because that's a very social teenager, and then us, and it was just like, wow. I mean, we all like each other, thank God, but it's a lot.
Yeah.
It was very stressful. I mean,
Even though you had gotten to know each other, probably deepened your relationship.
yes.
It was really, of course, COVID's a weird time, but, looking at it, there was a lot of beauty in the midst of it.
Yeah.
The way it forced you to go to the simple things, and the simple things are actually great and important. And that's what we did. And we did, learn to connect and communicate in deeper ways than we had previously. So,
Well, there wasn't any distraction, right? I mean, that's the big thing. I think some couples really need that distraction to like, I know couples that have 50 years together, but they work opposite schedules, like one works at night,
Well, it's
one works
healthy
during the day.
to come apart and come back together.
Yeah.
But there was no
and
coming
she's
apart
taught
at that time.
I tell you what, she's taught me the beauty of that, and that is, hey, her doing her thing, me doing my thing, and then we come together.
Yeah.
And we share then our worlds and our experiences.
Yes.
And I credit that to her, because in the previous life it was just all this one thing, and but I was missing out.
Yeah.
I think it kind of has to be that way for me because I was independent for so long. So how do you just, change that? But it's been very good. Autonomy, all of those things. So it's been good.
And so 5 years?
Yeah.
5 years.
February 28th.
February 28th?
February 28th.
Yeah.
So still newlyweds, really.
We're still newlyweds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hang on to that as long as you can.
Really?
I don't think we're going to lose it.
No.
I mean, with my sense of humor, I guarantee we won't.
Right. Exactly. Oh my gosh.
So what are you looking forward to from this point?
Oh, gosh. In life or the relationship or what?
Sure.
Oh, anyway.
Any of those things.
Yeah. Gosh, we love life. And can I speak for you on that?
Yeah.
Okay, good. And no, we love life, and we always try to approach life as like, as much as we can, it's like it's an adventure. Now, the adventure may be little things, and it may be big trips or whatever. But so what's ahead is, and we tell each other this, and it's like it's about an adventure. Let's live life as an adventure. So if it may be as simple as we're watching one of our favorite shows, but at the same time, that's a precious moment that has value, just like a trip to Portugal or something like that.
I mean, not just like Portugal.
No, because that's where we want to move someday.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so we've been to Portugal, and with the honeymoon, we'd planned on going a month or two after we got married. Then, of course, COVID, and then we went 2 years after we got
So
married.
you have been.
Yes.
Now.
Yeah.
And we want to go back and start looking for houses and things.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's the retirement plan.
Okay.
Which has been a dream of mine forever and ever. Just to be in Europe and be able to travel Europe, and just there's things about other countries that I really I like that maybe the United States doesn't have. So I think that could be a really good thing for retirement. So
What would you say to, how to word this? Because, Heidi, I think you would still be happy if you were still working in Kansas City and doing your business and being Heidi. So what would you say to, yourself a few years ago or someone in a similar position? And I know that's going to be different for both of you. Just looking back, what would you say? Or someone listening to this and they're thinking, man, I'm in the middle of what Randy was talking about.
Oh.
Okay.
Just kind of looking back.
What would I say to them? Don't lose sight of the strength that you have inside of you that you don't even know you have. In other words, don't lose faith in yourself and also the higher power. And that as bad as it looks, the best may be yet to come. And that's what happened to me. I mean, in the midst of that darkness of the divorce, it was like, I don't even want to push forward. It's done. But there was that little voice. It's like, don't give up, buddy.
What if it's not?
Yeah.
What if it's not?
Yeah, what if it's not? Just that little voice, just kind of, and listen to that little voice. And then here I am. It's like, wow, I'm glad I did, and I didn't give up.
Heidi?
Well, I mean, if you think about it, there's like how many? 8 billion people on the planet.
billion.
And gosh, we just there's so many possibilities and so many people out there. And, just because a relationship has failed doesn't mean that there's not someone better suited for you. Just keep moving forward, keep looking for that person. But I found that I became very present to who I am and what I like to do and how I like to do things. And so there's a joy in that, and I can share that. Whereas maybe prior to, I wasn't able to know who I am or be my authentic self. And so how could I attract the right person into my life if I don't know who I am or what I'm looking for? Some of the really hard relationships, like maybe not a 22-year-old marriage, but I had some tough relationships too, and those taught me what I wanted and what I didn't want. And so I'm grateful for those, though when I was going through them, it was
not at the time.
Not good, but I'm very grateful, because had I not had those experiences, maybe I wouldn't have found so much beauty in this person, this life, So I'm grateful for that.
Well, I appreciate you guys coming on.
Mm-hmm.
What a pleasure.
Yeah.
You were kind of a different one, because, we have couples who've been married a little bit of time, younger couples forever. But what your story is, I think so many people relate to, which is hard times and good times, and sort of being able to look back and reflect. So thank you for having the courage to trust me and come on my podcast and talk with me.
Sure.
And share your story. And I hope that it encourages others as it has me. And thank you so much for joining us for this episode of At Home with Emily, a podcast about creating a life you love. Hey, if you are watching us on YouTube, please be sure to like and subscribe so you're notified when our episodes drop. That's every Wednesday. We've got a couple more episodes this month on the 4 couples that you should know right here in Springfield, so you don't want to miss those. And you can follow Around the Ozarks on social media and head to AroundTheOzarks.com to sign up for our daily newsletter. We'll see you next time.